So how would you suggest reading it on B Club? Like not in a group reading, but any ideas on how we can read it together? Not like this, but differently maybe.
Yeah, maybe like we figure out like, the way the pauses are, right? And we decide that, okay, today we'll read until this part and reflect on it. And, the way I said, I recommend doing like audio, like listening to the author, so audio book, and everyone does this on their own. So listening to the audio book, and then if they like having a physical book as well, and then underlining the parts that they like, or however that works for them. Some people might be just good with audio format and just listening to it. I liked the enforcement of audio, like, and a physical book in my hand, because then two or three senses were being used, right? Like actually three, right? Because my eyes, my sense of touch, and listening. So that way it could seep in. And we could just decide. But the other thing is, like, if we just decide that, okay, this much we are going to read, that also might not work for everyone. Some might be okay, going to the next pause part, but maybe we give like 15 days and meet fortnightly or weekly on a weekly basis, and how much ever someone has read, and they can just share what were their key takeaways. So that way it's not very overwhelming, and if everyone can be at their own pace. That's just like what pops in my head right now. If I have more suggestions, I'll share more.
Yeah, yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay. Is everyone interested? So we can consider, like maybe even after this we can read it so that we are in sync more with the author's teachings. We can take it up like reading separately like this, the way Richa suggested, not in a group setup, but uh, just together. Yeah. Okay. What about others? Are you interested in that book?
Yes, we can, but I'm also
Okay.
comfortable with the like individual reading.
Is there
Oh.
any, why can't we read that book after this in the group? So nothing
Because
else.
that is not just that's what the Richa suggested, na? Like, and even I've heard of it. Like, it's more of an experiential book, and it's a very slow book where the author suggests many pauses in between. So we have to do that. Like whatever he suggests, we have to implement that. We have to go slow. Like together, it's very difficult to do this. So not every book is possible to read in a group setup as we read right now.
Okay, okay, got it, got it.
So we can just read it on our own, and maybe we can just come together and share our experiences or share our learnings in a week or a fortnight or something like that. We can create a separate group or something just to keep
Can,
accountable.
can we have it as a WhatsApp reading? For example, just we can record and someone record and post it, then pause it for
The way
one day,
Rupal is
2
doing
days.
it, right? You're saying
Huh?
the way Rupal is doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just wait for
I don't
1 or 2 days. Then
know.
again, after 2 days, we can connect and we can record one session, like that also, so that everyone in the
But
same
at
group
least what
and.
I have seen na, in that group also, Rajesh, like the idea is great. But what happens, at least for me, it happens that way. When I miss out certain parts, I just miss out them completely.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just like reading few parts which I am reading. Otherwise, I don't know what's there in the book, for me at
Mm.
least.
Got it, got it, got it.
Then that will also not make sense if that happens that way.
Hmm.
It's not about
And also,
for her, it's about more of the reading practice, right? Like your accent and your vocabulary and improving on that part. Like when you're working on your English skills, it's okay, whatever you read, and if you don't read the other parts, that's still fine. Just a reading practice. But the books that we are reading are not just for reading practice, right? They're for more of understanding and contemplation and all of that.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
in that book, as I earlier mentioned, Rajesh, I would recommend listening to the author's audio, like, getting an audio book where he has narrated it, because of
Mhm.
how calmly and crystal clear, like how he talks. Because any of us talking through it, like we have our own way of using the words, or taking the pauses and all of that, but he has done it very mindfully. So it's a
Okay.
very energetic experience when you listen to his voice and you're also reading the book along with it.
Is it
It just
available on
seeps in.
Spotify? Is it available on Spotify or any other sources? Freely
I
available?
think so. Yeah, yeah. I had actually I had borrowed it through my library
Mhm.
here, but I know that I had checked and it's there on Kindle and sorry, not Kindle and Amazon audiobooks. I know. So I think any audiobook
In
uh
fact,
you
I
know
would say I think it will also be available on YouTube as an audio version because many old books are available on YouTube also.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, but we'll just have to make sure that it is in his voice, like because there are also other people narrating. So yeah, just in Eckhart tone.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that we'll have to see. Okay, chalo, let's get started, friends, with A New Earth, the book that is ongoing. We are on chapter 9 today. It's the inner purpose, and that was a great discussion. Thank you for your suggestions and ideas, Richa. And yes, we'll come back to it after this book. Let's see how we can do that. And yeah, Viren, you want to start, right, today? You start, and then whoever would like to follow through the reading, write your name, and you can just follow after Viren.
Yeah. So my voice is clear, right?
Yes.
Your inner purpose. As soon as you rise above mere survival, the question of meaning and purpose becomes of paramount importance in your life. Many people feel caught up in the routines of daily living that seems to deprive their life of significance. Some believe life is passing them by, or has passed them by already. Others feel severely restricted by the demands of their job and supporting their family, or by their financial or living situation. Some are consumed by acute stress, others by acute boredom. Some are lost in frantic doing, others are lost in stagnation. Many people long for freedom and expansion that prosperity promises. Others already enjoy the relative freedom that comes with prosperity and discover that even that is not enough to endow their life with meaning. There is no substitute for finding true purpose, but the true or primary purpose of your life cannot be found on the outer level. It does not concern what you do, but what you are. That is to say, your state of consciousness. So, the most important thing to realize is this: your life has an inner purpose and an outer purpose. Inner purpose concerns being and is primary. Outer purpose concerns doing and is secondary. While this book speaks mainly of your inner purpose, this chapter and the next will also address the how to align how to align outer purpose and inner purpose in your life. Inner and outer, however, are so intertwined that it's almost impossible to speak of one without referring to the other. Your inner purpose is to awaken. It is as simple as that. You share that purpose with every other person on the planet because it is the purpose of humanity. Your inner purpose is an essential part of the purpose of the world, the universe, and its emerging intelligence. Your outer purpose can change over time. It varies greatly from person to person. Finding and living in alignment with the inner purpose is the foundation of fulfilling your outer purpose. It is the basis for true success. Without that alignment, you can still achieve certain things from through effort, struggle, determination, and sheer hard work or cunning. But there is no joy in such endeavor, and it invariably ends in some form of suffering. Awakening. Awakening is a shift in consciousness in which thinking and awareness separate. For most people, it is not an event, but a process they undergo. Even those rare beings who experience a sudden, dramatic, and seemingly irreversible awakening will still go through a process in which the new state of consciousness greatly flows into the transformation, into and transfers everything they do, and so becomes integrated into their lives. Instead of being lost in your thinking, when you are awake, you recognize yourself as the awareness behind it. Thinking then ceases to be a self serving, autonomous activity that takes possession of you and runs your life. Awareness takes over from thinking. Instead of being in charge or your life, thinking becomes the servant of awareness. Awareness is conscious connection with universal intelligence. Another word for it is presence, consciousness without thought. The initiation of the awakening process is an act of grace. You cannot make it happen, nor can you prepare yourself for it or accumulate credits towards it. There isn't a tidy sequence of logical steps that leads toward it. Although the mind would love that, you don't have to become worthy first. It may come to the sinner before it comes to the saint, but not necessarily. That's why Jesus associated with all kinds of people, not just the respectable ones. There is nothing you can do about awakening. Whatever you do will be the ego trying to add awakening or enlightenment to itself as its most prized possession and thereby making itself more important and bigger. Instead of awakening, you add the concept of awakening to your mind or the mental image of what an awakened or enlightened person is like, and then try to live up to that image. Living up to an image that you have of yourself or that other people have of you in authentic living. Another unconscious role the ego plays. So, if there is nothing you can do about awakening, sorry, if if there is nothing you can do about awakening, if it has either already happened or not yet happened, how can it be the primary purpose of your life? Does not purpose simply that? Does not purpose imply that you can do something about it? Only the first awakening, the first glimpse of consciousness without thought happens by grace, without any doing on your part. If you find this book incomprehensible or meaningless, it has yet not happened to you. If something within you respond to it, however, if you somehow recognize the truth in it, it means the process of awakening has begun. Once it has done so, it cannot be reversed, although it can be delayed by the ego. For some people, the reading of this book will initiate the awakening process. For others, the function of this book is to help them recognize that they have already begun to awaken and to intensify and accelerate the process. Another function of this book is to help people recognize the ego within them whenever it tries to regain control and obscure the arising awareness. For some, the awakening happens as they suddenly become aware of the kind of thoughts they habitually think, especially persistent negative thoughts that they may have been identified with all of their lives. Suddenly, there is an awareness that is aware of thought but is not part of it. What is the relationship between awareness and thinking? Awareness is the space in which thoughts exist when the space has become conscious of itself. Once you have had a glimpse of awareness or presence, you know it firsthand. It is no longer just a concept in your mind. You can then make a conscious choice to be present rather than to indulge in useless thinking. You can invite presence into your life. That is to say, make space. With the grace of awakening comes responsibility. You can either try to go on as if nothing has happened, or you can see its significance and recognize the arising of awareness as the most important thing that can happen to you. Opening yourself to the emerging consciousness and bringing this light into into this world then becomes the primary purpose of your life. I want to know the mind of God, Einstein saying. The rest are details. What is the mind of God? Consciousness. What does it mean to know the mind of God? To be aware. What are the details? Your outer purpose and whatever happens outwardly. So while you are perhaps still waiting for something significant to happen in your life, you may not realize that the most significant thing that can happen to a human being has already happened within you. The beginning of the separation process of thinking and awareness. Many people who are going through the early stage of the awakening process are no longer certain what their outer purpose is. What drives the world no longer drives them. Seeing the madness of our civilization so clearly, they may feel somewhat alienated from the culture around them. Some feel that they inhabit a no man's land between two worlds. They are no longer run by the ego. Yet the arising awareness has not yet become fully integrated into their lives. Inner and outer purpose have not merged. Yeah, so anyone want to take up from this?
Yeah, I can take over.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Viren. Okay. A dialogue on inner purpose. The following dialogue condenses numerous conversations I have had with people who were looking for their true life purpose. Something is true when it resonates with and expresses your innermost being, when it is in alignment with your inner purpose. This is why I'm directing their attention to their inner and primary purpose first. I don't know exactly what it is, but I want some change in my life. I want expansion. I want to be doing something meaningful. And yes, I want prosperity and the freedom that comes with it. I want to do something significant, something that makes a difference in the world. But if you asked me what exactly I want, I would have to say that I don't know. Can you help me find my life purpose? Your purpose is to sit here and talk to me because that's where you are and that's what you're doing until you get up and do something else. Then that becomes your purpose. So, my purpose is to sit in my office for the next 30 years until I retire or get laid off. You are not in your office now. So, that's not your purpose. When you do sit in your office and do whatever you do, then that is your purpose. Not for the next 30 years, but for now. Wow. I think there is something, I think there is some misunderstanding here. For you, purpose means what you are doing now. For me, it means having an overall aim in life, something big and significant that gives meaning to what I do, something that makes a difference. Shuffling papers in the office is not it. I know that. As long as you are unaware of being, you will seek meaning only within the dimension of doing and of future. That is to say, the dimension of time. And whatever meaning or fulfillment you find will dissolve or turn out to have been a deception. Invariably, it will be destroyed by time. Any meaning we find on that level is true only relatively and temporarily. For example, if caring for your children gives meaning to your life, what happens to that meaning when they don't need you and perhaps don't even listen to you anymore? If helping others gives meaning to your life, you depend on others being worse off than yourself so that your life can continue to be meaningful and you can feel good about yourself. If the desire to excel, win, or succeed at this or that activity provides you with meaning, what if you never win or your winning streak comes to an end one day, as it will? You would then have to look to your imagination or memories, a very unsatisfactory place to bring some meager meaning into your life. Making it in whatever field is only meaningful as long as there are thousands or millions of others who don't make it. So you need other human beings to fail so that your life can have meaning. I am not saying here that helping others, caring for children, for your children, or striving for excellence in whatever field are not worthwhile things to do. For many people, they are in an important part of their outer purpose. But outer purpose alone is always relative, unstable, and impermanent. This does not mean that you should not be engaged in those activities. It means you should connect them to your inner primary purpose so that a deeper meaning flows into what you do. Without living in alignment with your primary purpose, whatever purpose you come up with, even if it is to create heaven on earth, will be of the ego or become destroyed by time. Sooner or later, it will lead to suffering. If you ignore your inner purpose, no matter what you do, even if it looks spiritual, the ego will creep into how you do it. And so the means will corrupt the end. The common saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, points to this truth. In other words, not your aims or your actions are primary, but the state of consciousness out of which they come. Fulfilling your primary purpose is laying the foundation for a new reality, a new earth. Once that foundation is there, your external purpose.
I'm not able to locate what you're reading. Like I just lost
Uh,
it after one. Is it different in
uh,
the physical and hard copy?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm reading from the physical book.
Yeah, I got it. That's why I'm asking. So can you see on the screen? There is this line: the road to hell is paved, right? You
Yeah,
read this,
I
right?
read that. Yeah. Yeah, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, points to this truth. In other words, not your aims.
No. Okay, maybe. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it is misaligned. Maybe because
yeah,
this book, like this PDF, I had noticed there are some spelling errors also. So maybe there is some typing mistake.
yeah. The spelling errors, yes, but this has happened for the first time that the reading is different. Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, you go on. Like, can you just reread from this para without living in alignment? So we
Yes.
locate
Yes.
it, and then if it is different, you read whatever is there in the hard copy, and then maybe we can read from the PDF again, like just to keep the sync. Let's do it. Like, let's see. Yeah. Go
I
on, go on.
don't think we should rely on the PDF because I'm not very sure of the authenticity. I have a proper like publication book, right? So I will read from the physical copy, but I think there is some mismatch uh here.
Yeah,
So
but we only have the PDF right now, right? Everyone has the PDF. No, not everyone has a hard copy. So
yeah,
that's
but this is being recorded, right? So people can listen to this, and for a little while, I think people will not be able to follow the screen. But because I think we'll get confused if we are like following two versions. Uh, that's why I was suggesting like it should not confuse us, right? So we should rely on one reliable copy, is what I am trying to say.
yeah, that's right. But not, so far we have this has not happened before, right? So everything was coming together like properly with the PDF also. Only there were some spelling errors. So okay, let's see. You go on, and then we'll figure out what to do.
Yeah, and I'll start from this without living.
Please repeat
paragraph.
that part.
Yeah,
So we
yes.
understand.
Okay, okay. Without living in alignment with your primary purpose, whatever purpose you come up with, even if it is to create heaven on earth, will be of the ego or become destroyed by time. Sooner or later, it will lead to suffering. If you ignore your inner purpose, no matter what you do, even if it looks spiritual, the ego will creep into how you do it, and so the means will corrupt the end. The common saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, points to this truth. In other words, not your aims or your actions are primary, but the state of consciousness out of which they come. Fulfilling your primary purpose is laying the foundation for a new reality, a new earth. Once that foundation is there, your external purpose becomes charged with spiritual power because your aims and intentions will be one with the evolutionary impulse of the universe. The separation of thinking and awareness, which lies at the core of your primary purpose, happens through the negation of time. Are you still not able to locate this part, like the separation of thinking? There is no such part.
No, it's
Hmm.
completely different. It's very different. I don't know if they've missed one part or what is it. I'm just trying
Or
to see
is it?
that.
Does your book mention the edition? I am trying to see what edition I have. Maybe that's the, but I don't see the details.
Yeah, so
So
this tells us
what
why
do
we
you,
should order the physical copies instead of depending on the PDFs. Ideally, because
yeah,
even I prefer reading from physical copies normally because um, it's like this thing, right? Like to the author also, that we should buy the books. We just do this for the convenience of reading in a group right
right,
now.
right. No, and I don't mind reading from the PDF. I am just concerned whether it's like authentic, that's my only concern, that
Yeah,
we
it's
might
happened for
lose
the
the
first time.
essence. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think this is also there. Maybe as you said, it could be the edition difference. So it's okay. We'll listen to what you are reading, and then maybe what we can do, it will be a little repetition, but we'll follow the PDF because it's like the ninth chapter, and we have been okay with it, right? Like so far. So otherwise, we will not be able to go through the PDF at all because it's very different somewhere. I don't know what's the problem. So you read for us. It's a privilege that you have a hard copy and we get to know what is in the hard copy. So you read through that, and then maybe someone else can just take up from the PDF later. Let's do that. Is that okay? So
yeah,
that
yeah.
we are
Either way.
aligned with the page, at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
for now.
And I mean, and if you want me to switch to PDF, that's okay too. I was just, like I voiced my concerns, but I am not opposed to reading from, like, because I can read from the screen if that is a concern as well. And I can, maybe later on see what differences are between the physical copy.
Yeah,
Whatever
better we can
everyone
read from the
wants.
screen.
Let's
Yeah,
do
better
that
we can
because
read from the
that will
screen.
save our time. What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry. Because and you also what you can do, Richard, just for today's sake, you can put the screenshot of the pages that you that are different. If you can just locate that, because I'm
Yeah.
not able to at all find the part that you are reading anywhere in the book. Like no para is merging with what you're reading, so I'm not getting how to like switch to both of them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's a big
No, no,
problem.
understood. Yeah. No, so I will, yeah, I can share, I will read it later on and I'll also see like if the meaning completely has changed. But yeah, I'll read from the screen for now.
Yeah, you can read from
And
here right now, the common saying, because Viren was reading from the screen, right? So that was not a
yeah,
problem with him. Like, so let's read from the screen. As of now, just one and a half chapter left now. So let's read from the screens, and then maybe whatever is different, you can just point it out to us. Please do that. Because I personally don't have a PDF, hard copy of this book. I'll have to purchase it. So I can't do that. So since you have it, please do that. Or
Yeah,
whoever has.
and I think next time onwards, maybe this is a good learning. Even if we are getting the PDF or something, right? We try to get it like from a maybe like some purchasable maybe option, or maybe like some
Yeah,
reliable
it
source.
also as a tribute to the author, right? Like we are learning so much from
Yeah,
them. We should
correct.
invest. Ideally, we
Right.
should. Yeah, yeah. No problem. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
Okay.
that. Let's make it a practice. At least for the books
Yeah.
that we are connecting very much with, let's buy them. Not every
Right.
book, I would say, but at least few of them. Yeah. Richa, go
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Okay. The common saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, points to this book or walking across the room. The main purpose for turning the pages is to turn the pages. The secondary purpose is to find a phone number. The main purpose for walking across the room is to walk across the room. The secondary purpose is to pick up a book at the other end, and I don't know what that word. And the moment you pick up the book, that becomes your main purpose. You may remember the paradox of time we mentioned earlier. Whatever you do takes time, and yet it is always now. So while your inner purpose is to negate time, your outer purpose necessarily involves future and so could not exist without time. But it is always secondary. Whenever you become anxious or stressed, outer purpose has taken over and you lost sight of your inner purpose. You have forgotten that your state of consciousness is primary, all else secondary. Would living like this not stop me from looking to achieve something great? My fear is that I will remain stuck with doing little things for the rest of my life, things that are of no consequence. I'm afraid of never rising above mediocrity, never daring to achieve anything great, not fulfilling my potential. The great arises out of small things that are honored and cared for. Everybody's life really consists of small things. Greatness is a mental abstraction and a favorite fantasy of the ego. The paradox is that the foundation for greatness is honoring the small things of the present moment instead of pursuing the idea of greatness. The present moment is always all in the sense that it is always simple, but concealed within it lies the greatest power. Like the atom, it is one of the smallest things, yet contains enormous power. Only when you align yourself with the present moment do you have access to that power. Or it may be more true to say that it then has access to you and through you to this world. Jesus was referring to this power when he said, "It is not I, but the Father within me who does the work. And I can, of my own self, do nothing." Anxiety, stress, and negativity cut you off from that power. The illusion that you are separate from the power that runs the universe returns. You will feel you feel yourself to be alone again, struggling against something or trying to achieve this or that. But why did anxiety, stress, or negativity arise? Because you turned away from the present moment. And why did you do that? You thought something else was more important. You forgot your main purpose. One small error, one misperception creates a world of suffering. Through the present moment, you have access to the power of life itself, that which has traditionally been called God. As soon as you turn away from it, God ceases to be a reality in your life, and all you are left with is the mental concept of God. which some people believe in and others deny. Even belief in God is only a poor substitute for the living reality of God manifesting every moment of your life. Would complete harmony with the present moment not imply the cessation of all movement? Doesn't the existence of any goal imply that there is a temporary disruption in that harmony with the present moment and perhaps a re-establishment of harmony at a higher or more complex level once the goal has been attained? I imagine that the sapling that pushes its way through the soil can't be in total harmony with the present moment, either because it has a goal, it wants to become a big tree. Maybe once it has reached maturity, it will lie in harmony with the present moment. The sapling doesn't want anything because it is at one with the totality, and the totality acts through it. Look at the lilies of the field, how they grow, said Jesus. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet even Solomon, in all his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. We could say that the totality life wants the sapling to be to become a tree, but the sapling doesn't see itself as separate from life, and so wants nothing for itself. It is one with what life wants. That's why it isn't worried or stressed. And if it has to die prematurely, it dies with ease. It is as surrendered in death as it is in life. Wow. It senses, no matter how obscurely, its rootedness in being, the formless and eternal one, life. I think I saw someone put their name. Would you like to take over, Suman?
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I was at
Just a
like
minute,
the
yeah, just a minute, but we'll just check how much is there. Otherwise, we can stop for discussion also. Like, if it is a lot to cover, I think this is a good conversation between. Yeah, it's. Shall we go and finish it? Is it okay for everyone? It's 2, 3 more page at least. Yeah, 2.5 pages, I guess.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
finish
I
it.
think
I mean, I'm
we should
okay.
continue. Yeah.
3.5. Yeah, three. Oh, yeah, 4.5 pages. I guess a little more, like 4, 5 pages are there. Huh? I'm telling you guys, like, is it
Yeah,
okay?
it's
I'm okay.
here. No, you just crossed it. So
The sapling doesn't
go
want anything.
scroll. Yeah, like the Taoist sages, I think we have to start
I
there.
got it. I got it. Yeah, if we are okay for delaying a little bit with this, it's fine, right? Like, and we'll go through it till 8:15. For the discussion, with including the discussion. That's fine for everyone.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
Okay.
ahead.
fine.
Okay. Like, okay, let's finish the chapter then. Yeah, Suman, you go on, and anyone who wants to read after that also, it's we have pages left, so we can like after Suman, if anyone wants, put your name right now, so we know. Yeah, Suman, you can start.
Yeah, okay. Like the Taoist sages of ancient China, Jesus likes to draw your attention to nature because he sees a power at work in it that humans have lost touch with. It is the creative power of the universe. Jesus goes on to say that if God clothes simple flowers in such beauty, how much more will God clothe you? That is to say, that while nature is a beautiful expression of the evolutionary impulse of the universe, when humans become aligned with the intelligence that underlies it, they will express that same impulse on a higher, more wondrous level. So, be true to life by being true to your inner purpose. As you become present and thereby total in what you do, your actions become charged with spiritual power. At first, There may be no noticeable change in what you do, only the how changes. Your primary purpose is now to enable consciousness to flow into what you do. The secondary purpose is whatever you do, whatever you want to achieve through the doing. Whereas the notion of purpose before was always associated with future. There is now a deeper purpose that can only be found in the present through the denial of time. When you meet with people at work or wherever it may be, give them your fullest attention. You are no longer there primarily as a person, but as a field of awareness, of alert presence. The original reason for interacting with the other person, buying or selling something, requesting or giving information, and so on, now becomes secondary. The field of awareness that arises between you become the primary purpose for the interaction. That space of awareness becomes more important than what you may be talking about, more important than physical or thought objects. The human being becomes more important than the things of the world. It does not mean you neglect whatever needs to be done on a practical level. In fact, the doing unfolds not only more easily, but more powerfully when the dimension of being is acknowledged and so becomes primary. The arising of that unifying field of awareness between human beings is the most essential factor in relationships on the new earth. Is the notion of success just an egoic illusion? How do we measure true success? The world will tell you that success is achieving what you set out to do. It will tell you that success is winning, that finding recognition and or prosperity are essential ingredients in any success. All or some of the above are usually byproducts of success, but they are not success. The conventional notion of success is concerned with the outcome of what you do. Some say that success is the result of a combination of hard work and luck, or determination and talent, or being in the right place at the right time. While any of these may be determinants of success, they are not its essence. What the world doesn't tell you because it doesn't know is that you cannot become successful. You can only be successful. Don't let a mad world tell you that success is anything other than a successful present moment. And what is that? There is a sense of quality in what you do, even the most simple action. Quality implies care and attention, which comes with awareness. Quality requires your presence. Let's say that you are a business person, and after 2 years of intense stress and strain, you finally manage to come out with a product or service that sells well and makes money. Success? In conventional terms, yes. In reality, you spent 2 years polluting your body as well as the earth with negative energy, made yourself and those around you miserable, and affected many others you never even met. The unconscious assumption behind all such action is that success is a future event and that the need justifies the means. But the end and the means are one. And if the means did not contribute to human happiness, neither will the end. The outcome, which is inseparable from the actions that led to it, is already contaminated by those actions and so will create further unhappiness. This is karmic action, which is the unconscious perpetuation of unhappiness. As you already know, your secondary or outer purpose lies within the dimension of time, while your main purpose is inseparable from the now. and therefore requires the negation of time. How are they reconciled? By realizing that your entire life journey ultimately consists of the step you are taking at this moment. There is always only this one step, and so you give it your fullest attention. This doesn't mean you don't know where you are going. It just means this step is primary, the destination secondary. And what you encounter at your destination once you get there depends on the quality of this one step. Another way of putting it, what the future holds for you depends on your state of consciousness now. When doing becomes infused with the timeless quality of being, that is success. Unless being flows into doing, unless you are present, you lose yourself in whatever you do. You also lose yourself in thinking as well as in your reactions to what happens externally. What exactly do you mean when you say you lose yourself? The essence of who you are is consciousness. When consciousness becomes completely identified with thinking and thus forgets its essential nature, it loses itself in thought. When it becomes identified with mental emotional formations such as wanting and fearing, the primary motivating forces of the ego, it loses itself in those formations. Consciousness also loses itself when it identifies with acting and reacting to what happens. Every thought, every desire or fear, every action or reaction is then infused with a false sense of self that is incapable of sensing the simple joy of being and so seeks pleasure and sometimes even pain as substitutes for it. This is living in forgetfulness of being. In that state of forgetfulness of who you are, every success is no more than a passing delusion. Whatever you achieve, soon you will be unhappy again, or some new problem or dilemma will draw your attention incompletely. How do I go from realizing what my inner purpose is to finding out what I am supposed to do on the outer level? The outer purpose varies greatly from person to person, and no outer purpose lasts forever. It is subject to time and then replaced by some other purpose. The extent to which dedication to the inner purpose of awakening changes, the external circumstances of your life also varies greatly. For some people, there is a sudden or gradual break with their past, their work, living situation, relationship. Everything undergoes profound change. Some of the change may be initiated by themselves, not through an agonizing decision making process, but by a sudden realization or recognition. This is what I have to do. The decision arrives ready made, so to speak. It comes through awareness, not through thinking. You wake up one morning and you know what to do. Some people find themselves waking out of an insane work environment or living situation. So, before you discover what is right for you on the external level, before you discover what works, what is compatible with the awakening consciousness, you may have to find out what is not right, what no longer works, what is incompatible with your inner purpose. Other kinds of change may suddenly come to you from without. A chance meeting brings new opportunity and expansion into your life. A long standing obstacle or conflict dissolves. Your friends either go through this inner transformation with you or drift out of your life. Some relationships dissolve, others deepen. You may get laid off from your job or you become an agent for positive change at your workplace. Your spouse leaves you, or you reach a new level of intimacy. Some changes may look negative on the surface, but you will soon realize that space is being created in your life for something new to emerge. There may be a period of insecurity and uncertainty. What should I do? As the ego is no longer running your life, the psychological need for external security, which is illusory anyway, lessens. You are able to live with uncertainty, even enjoy it. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. It means fear is no longer a dominant factor in what you do and no longer prevents you from taking action to initiate change. The Roman philosopher Tacitus rightly observed that the desire for safety stands against every great and noble enterprise. If uncertainty is unacceptable to you, it turns into fear. If it is perfectly acceptable, it turns into increased aliveness, alertness, and creativity. Many years ago, as a result of strong inner impulse, I walked out of an academic career that the world would have called promising, stepping into complete uncertainty. And out of that, after several years, emerged my new incarnation as a spiritual teacher. Much later, something similar happened again. The impulse came to give up my home in England and move to the west coast of North America. I obeyed that impulse, although I did not know the reason for it. Out of that move into uncertainty came the power of now, most of which was written in California and British Columbia, while I did not have a home of my own. I had virtually no income and lived on my savings, which were quickly running out. In fact, everything fell into place beautifully. I ran out of money just when I was getting close to finishing writing. I bought a lottery ticket and won $1,000, which kept me going for another month. Not everybody, whoever, will have to go through drastic change in their external circumstances. At the other end of the spectrum, you have people who stay exactly where they are and keep doing whatever they are doing. For them, only the how changes, not the what. This is not due to fear or inertia. What they are doing already is a perfect vehicle for consciousness to come into this world, and it needs no other. They too bring into manifestation the new earth. Should not this be the case for everybody? If fulfilling your inner purpose is being at one with the present moment, why should anybody feel the need to remove themselves from their current work or living situation? Being at one with what is does not mean you no longer initiate change or become incapable of taking action. But the motivation to take action comes from a deeper level, not from egoic wanting or fearing. Inner alignment with the present moment opens your consciousness and brings into alignment with the whole, of which the present moment is an integral part. The whole, the totality of life, then acts through you. What do you mean by the whole? On the one hand, the whole comprises all that exists. It is the world or the cosmos. But all things in existence, from microbes to human beings to galaxies, are not really separate things or entities, but form part of a web of interconnected multidimensional processes. There are two reasons why we don't see this unity, why we see things as separate. One is perception, which reduces reality to what is accessible to us through the small range of our senses, what we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But when we perceive without interpreting or mental labeling, which means without adding thought to our perceptions, we can actually still sense the deeper connectedness underneath our perception of seemingly separate things. The other more serious reason for the illusion of separateness is compulsive thinking. It is when we are trapped in incessant streams of compulsive thinking that the universe really disintegrates for us and we lose the ability to sense the interconnectedness of all that exists. Thinking cuts reality up into lifeless fragments. Extremely unintelligent and destructive action arises out of such a fragmented view of reality. However, there is in an even deeper level to the whole than the interconnectedness of everything in existence. At that deeper level, all things are one. It is the source, the unmanifested one life. It is the timeless intelligence that manifests as a universe unfolding in time. The whole is made up of existence and being, the manifested and the unmanifested, the world and God. So when you become aligned with the whole, you become a conscious part of the interconnectedness of the whole and its purpose. The emergence of consciousness into this world. As a result, spontaneous, helpful occurrences, chance encounters, coincidences, and synchronistic events happen much more frequently. Carl Jung called synchronicity as a casual connecting principle. This means there is no casual connection between synchronistic events on our surface level of reality. It is an outer manifestation of an underlying intelligence behind the world of appearances and a deeper connectedness that our mind cannot understand. But we can be conscious participants in the unfolding of that intelligence, the flowering consciousness. Nature exists in a state of unconsciousness oneness with the whole. This, for example, is why virtually no wild animals were killed in the tsunami disaster of 2004, being more in touch with the totality than humans. They could sense the tsunami's approach long before it could be seen or heard, and so had time to withdraw to higher terrain. Perhaps even that is looking at it from a human perspective. They probably just found themselves moving to higher terrain. Doing this because of that is the mind's way of cutting up reality, whereas nature lies in unconsciousness oneness with the whole. It is our purpose and destiny to bring a new dimension into this world by living in conscious oneness with the totality and conscious alignment with universal intelligence. Can the whole use the human mind to create things or bring about situations that are in alignment with its purpose? Yes, whenever there is inspiration, which translates as in spirit and enthusiasm, which means in God, there is a creative empowerment that goes far beyond what a mere person is capable of. Yeah, the chapter is finished.
Okay, wow, that was a big and deep chapter, I would say. I would
Very
want
deep
to go
chapter.
back and read it again by myself and maybe just ponder upon a few things. There's so many things covered in this chapter and so beautifully. So I loved so many of these things. Uh, I don't think there can be a whole deeper session on this one chapter, I would say, discussion on that. So yeah,
Yeah, so
but
true.
yeah, whoever, yeah. So he covered being and doing, he covered inner purpose and outer purpose, he covered success, he covered so many things, right? And so beautifully explained. And the format of this chapter about the question and answer type, like a conversational format that made me remember of the book Conversations with God. It's very similar. It's the whole book is placed like this, and it's again a very similar experience, like the way you read this chapter. Similarly you have like they answer the questions that we actually have, and then those are answered in a simplified way by God similarly. So it related me with that. That can be another book like that we can take up in a setup like The Power of Now we were talking about in the morning. So some books that cannot be read in a group setup can be actually read in a different way together. So let's see how we can bring that to life. So yeah, now we can open up for discussion. I would restrain from sharing myself because of the limitation of time, and I think I have so many things I would love to share from this, but we're short of time. So I would allow others to share, and I'll share some other day maybe. So yeah, please do share whatever you would like to
Yeah.
share, highlight.
So I just quickly sum up like the inner and outer world the author has mentioned, right? So I have just somewhere read about like when your inner and outer world is not aligned, you need to check yourself everywhere because in inside you are different, but in the outer world you need to choke as different. And how to find the self, pure self. So there is one like one another book the author has mentioned that close yourself in the car with window closed, and other things you can do like in a hotel room you are alone, and that the person you are, that's a true yourself. If no one is watching you, no one is seeing you, and the person you are, so you are a true self, and your inner self will be come out by this way. And whatever the nature you are behaving, whatever behavior you have at your inner self will be if reflects with the outer self, then you no need to have this exercise of aligning yourself with the outer world. So it will go through the nature's flow, and it will be easy for you. In starting, it will be difficult, but in future, it will be easy. That is the one part. And second, synchronicity. So again, the point came. So in last book also, we discussed about the synchronicity. And yes, I believe that synchronicity works. So last I have said related to whatever job offering I was having. So I was thinking about if I can get my job at my hometown, and the same day the call came from the employer that we have an offer. I accepted the job. So yes, synchronicity works, but we need to believe it. That's the main purpose. That's it.
Wow, thank you. Your shares are always very beautiful, Viren. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I do agree, and I can talk a little more, but I'll, as I said, I'll just give others opportunity. We'll talk about this. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very true. I agree with everything what you shared. And it's like as they say, right? The inner world is our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So when we are very confirmed about something, and when we make up our mind, things fall into place. So yeah, it does happen that way. Yeah, thank you for that. Anyone else? Please unmute and speak. No one? आज सबको सोचना है. The chapter was too deep, na? So it's okay if we really don't want to share, that is also okay. We can actually take time and reflect upon it, and maybe some other time we can share. That's completely okay. If everyone is okay with that, we can also make it a practice sometimes. Like that's a good thing actually. Sometimes we just I feel sometimes we just dilute the essence of what we read by just oversharing also. or unnecessarily sharing. Rather than we should be reflecting upon what we read or learned, rather than giving words to it. It's more deepened than the words that we can even bring into existence at times. It's more reflective. So if that's the case today, we can actually call it a day and we can take time. Maybe what we can do is we are on the last chapter now. So maybe tomorrow morning, as just like today, like because I had announced that we will start at 7:15, but we actually started at 7, and there were many of you already there at 7. Luckily, that was a good thing. Which So we just discussed a few things and we started around 7:13 or something. Similarly, tomorrow we can do like we can just keep first 15 minutes for discussion tomorrow, and then we'll start reading sharp at 7:15. But we'll not close late like today. We'll close halfway, and then maybe day after we'll finish the chapter and the book. So if that is okay, can we do that? Let's ponder a little more on this chapter. Maybe if anyone wants to reread it, just go reread it, highlight a few pages, share it in the group, or just share it with someone, and then maybe we can come up tomorrow with some more reflections on the chapter. Is that okay?
Yeah, I want to share something today.
Okay, yeah. Just a minute, Maniji. I just want to know what others, everyone would like to do, and then you
Mm.
can share. Yeah. Is it okay with everyone to share
Yes, yes,
tomorrow? First
yes,
seven
yes.
for 15 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then Maniji, you share, and after what you share, we'll close the room. And we'll actually, I would insist that please come early tomorrow. If you want, we can also open the room at 6:45. That is also okay for tomorrow. Like we can do that so that we have more time for sharing on this particular chapter. It was a very deep chapter and it was very beautiful, in fact. So we can have a longer share on that also. I can open the room a little earlier also. So let's do, but you guys need to show up, okay? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It just one or two of us, and then it doesn't serve the purpose. Okay. So okay with everyone? Viren agreed. Others?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Suman, Anjali,
By
Shilpa.
default, by default it is
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I
Yeah.
take it as a yes.
That's
Yeah,
great.
no
Yeah.
problem. Whoever wants to discuss, come up with some shares on this particular chapter. Just join a little early tomorrow and we'll have a healthy discussion after a little bit of more reflection on it, or maybe a rereading of it. Yeah, Maniji, you can share and then we'll close the group. And please make it a little, keep it a little short because we are already on 8:14
Yeah, just take
and
a minute.
we'll close it at 8:15. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, go on.
Yeah, so the point here is, the author is focusing on the present moment. So what is happening is, if I share, so many things, what we do on a day-to-day basis, they are influenced by our past, what we had been doing in the past, our emotions, our ego, or whatever you call it, right? But the author is emphasizing that, that we have to know our true inner purpose. Like what are we here for, what we intend to become, what is my life purpose, right? And we have to align that purpose with our outer purpose. I mean to say that, okay, my objective is to become, like, basically he's trying to connect your spiritual connection with your outer world, right? So uh, based on spirituality, we know that, the human is the most uh, precious creation of God, right? And if we relate that with nature, a mango tree or a whatever, a fruit tree, in its lifetime, the tree become full potential, the fruit, the tree, and everything, right? Because it knows what it needs to be done, right? It is growing on a daily basis and not thinking about the rain, thunder, sunlight, and everything. It is doing its intention, like what it is supposed to become. So the same thing relate to our humans, like, uh, like, see, humans have so many abilities about for senses. We can speak, we can talk, we can think, and so many things. But unless we know our true purpose of, like, what is my ultimate purpose of life. So if I say that, my ultimate purpose of life is to be happy and peaceful, right? Because if I'm happy and peaceful, I can my body is at its best. If I'm happy and peaceful, I will be healthy, I can do what I want, I'll be at high energy and things like that. And the same can align with my outer purpose, like what I want to become. I want to become a doctor, engineer, or whatever, a businessman, right? So point is, and the point is that we should not be focusing our thoughts, emotions, feeling, actions on the past. Because if we keep doing the same thing, we are not going to change anything. It's just like, you can't, if you plant a apple tree, you cannot have a banana, right? So same thing. So the point is focus on the present moment, and everything in the life is temporary. Nothing is going to stay with you forever, right? And every day is opportunity to do your best, to change your life the way you want. So from the spiritual point of view, uh, you can say the soul resides in your heart, right? The soul is you can say the where the power of the God resides, the power of the universe, and things like that. So ultimately, the summary is that the more we better understand spiritual creation existence, that we are here to live a happy and peaceful life for ourselves and others, and that is the ultimate purpose of life. And if we align that with our outer purpose, our profession, what impact we want to make to the world, if both the things are aligned, then we can serve ourselves and the others in a true and in a proper manner. And if I relate to fear and other things, obstacles and things like that, you know just like a flower cannot from a seed of the seed cannot become a flower without plant tree, right? It leaves some little petals on the ground, and then it starts becoming. So same thing, the pain, obstacle, that is the through how we evolve ourselves. And we should love that any challenge of life that comes on the way, because this is how you grow, this is how you evolve yourself. uh, the more we understand and believe in that, right? So believe is what.
Manoj, we are out of time. It's 4 minutes.
Okay, I'm done then. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep it for tomorrow, okay? Yeah, and that is one part of what the chapter covered. So yeah, very true. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we will cover tomorrow. We will go for an in-depth discussion tomorrow before reading of the 10th chapter. And I will also share the podcast so to go through them. So that will help us understand it even deeper. So thank you, and sorry Manishji for cutting you off.
No,
But even
all
I have
that,
to leave.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay.
okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Take care. See you all. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
Is there any recording for this?
Yeah, we do record it. I'll do one thing. I'll share the recording of today's chapter. We didn't do much of a discussion today because the
Okay.
chapter was very deep. So you can listen. We just one or two people just shared a little bit. So you can listen
Okay.
to it and
Yeah.
more of a reading only. So you can just catch up the chapter through the recorded version of it also.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'll
Yeah.
share it in the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye. See
Thank
you
you.
all. Yeah.
Yeah. See you all.